Good afternoon on what is a mild, grey and cloudy day. It is Wednesday the 7th of February and I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea and a parcel to continue unboxing. And what I have got in here is a copy of Galileo 2 Judgement Day. This is, as you can see, a scenario published by Lamentations of the Flame Princess for use with Lamentations of the Flame Princess, a weird fantasy role-playing. And of course, it will also work with other retro clones, old school Renaissance style role-playing games of your choice. So, it wants to crush, it wants to kill, it wants to wrestle with the legal holds once it reboots. That is, Galileo 2 Judgement Day is a double shot of horror in the vein of slasher films with high body counts. Buy one ticket and get two. One-shot adventures to show your players what it would be like to be a camp counselor in the 80s. Run for your life through a dark forest alongside Galileo, or explore a deadly mansion filled with sweet loot and blood-spattered traps. Each features the automaton, a mechanical assassin that runs like a marionette and mangles like a wrestler. So yeah. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of slasher films, but I can appreciate the genre for what it is. I can appreciate what can be fun to role-play in that genre. Not too often, because I'm not a fan, but I do know that people do like them. I mean, you know, I'm not taking away from their preferences. So, the contents page, and some actually really great artwork, essentially sort of like, you know, some kind of, you know, basically witch actually or sorcerer being blasted by an electromechanical device. And then the full description of Galileo Judgement Day, Galileo 2 Judgement Day, and escape of that figure there. You can see artwork in here is actually really very good. And then essentially what happens with the chase after he's escaped, I'm presuming. So, got guidance on how to run the chase, and then essentially you've got travel along, basically outside of the chase. So there could be things going on as well. Option encounters for running through the forest. Option encounters, essentially, you know, that you can run to add colour and a bit of depth. So it's not just the chase; there's a bit more. And then improvised chase through Florence, concluding the chase, reaching Florence. So this is another scenario, essentially, if you're going to be set in Florence, another scenario. This is obviously set in Italy during the default period of the period of the setting for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, weird fantasy role-playing, which is the early modern age, essentially the early 17th century, sort of up to the time of you know, the 30 Years' War and beyond. The most recent scenario I looked at was actually set on the very eve of the Great Fire of London. And then we've got looting the Villa Il Diello, the Jewel Villa. So you've got like a heist there to perform, a raid upon the part of the player characters. You've got a decent little map of the villa there. And descriptions of its various locations and rooms. What ifs? One of the characters run back home to hide from the automaton or flee from are set free after the automaton awakens and chases them. So essentially, you know, presumably what happens in here is that you go in, perform the raid, perform the robbery, and they activate something they shouldn't, get trapped, get chased by the automaton. So options here on what might happen at the end. You know, the player characters turn Galileo to the Inquisition if the players do not have Galileo with them. If the player characters are captured by the Inquisition. So these are all well thought through. And here we have the automaton, or Assassino Meccanico, sorry for pronunciation. So the full stats for the monster and his wrestling moves. And then Galileo. So it's so the actually, you know, it's not just Galileo 2. It's actually the Galileo. It is the astronomer and natural philosopher, whom the player characters will encounter here. Brilliant. Okay, you're encountering him. That's going to be quite strange. Traps that Galileo has built into his house. The nosy neighbours going, what's going on next door, to taking advantage, of the chaos inside. So different NPCs there. And then author's notes, as well as a map of Florence in which to set the scenarios. So yeah, that looks actually quite a lot of fun. And basically, you have a Terminator-like automaton in sort of essentially 17th, 15th, 16th, 17th century Italy, running amok, as it were, and the player characters having to deal with it. So that's Galileo 2 Judgment Day, published by Lamentations of the Flame Princess. I look forward to giving this a review. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. If you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game, or in this case, it's a scenario for an old school Renaissance retro clone, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.